Hello, Aquarius, to another timeless Delaware reading of yours. Please bear in mind a few things before we get started. If you are a new listener to my channel, I welcome you. I look forward to seeing where this all takes us. If you're a returning listener, I am grateful to your patience in me streamlining my content and everything. And as you can see, we're kickstarting off a different type of wave. So let's see where it can all take us. With that bearing that in mind. Bearing that in mind, Aquarius, these messages may offer universal justice if Aquarius is found in your Sun rising and or Jupiter position. However, with me, if it's anywhere else in your chart, feel free to see whether or not my sister channel that I also am reading for would be a benefit of and for you. And the content over there is timeless as well, and it's also coming. It's coming. More's coming. All right. I'm also a Master Seventh that reads these energies, as well as knowing that if it's beneficial for you that I am a Master Healer. Should you be of interest of wanting to know more information, down in the description box, you will find different ways to get some information and also make contact should any of that be of interest for you. I can assist you wherever you are in the longitude and latitude of this global phenomenon. And should you be inquisitive, feel free to, again, make that connection. I have a bit more detail to that is that I have changed the game of not only Reiki, but also with tarot. And with Reiki, I have been gifted what I call now 𝗖𝘀𝗵𝗔𝗽𝗽. It is already in practice, and should again you be interested to find out more information, it's found below, as well as tarot services. Should you find something intriguing, or should you find something that's not made available for you, reach out if you feel called to do so. Feminine and masculine energies within a reading are non-gender specific, and past, present, and future energetical timelines could always come forth within a reading, so it's very important to use your discernment to take all that which does belong to you and to leave the rest behind that does not. To remember, first and foremost, that these are collective general readings. These are not from point A to point B, transactional, eye to eye, even playing field kind of transaction, right? Just keep that in mind. All right, I think we're ready. Okay, so Aquarius. I think it's safe to say that a majority of this energy feel that they want to leave a footprint. They want to be known for something. This isn't so much of an ego trip, but more so an importance of some kind. Making changes, being a mentor, being a life coach, being influential, and leaving behind a legacy. The sacral chakra is acting up, so bouts of fears are coming through, challenging your beliefs, challenging your identity, challenging your likes, your dislikes, your theologies, your pretty much your favorite color at the end of the day. It's making you a bit like jumpy for some of you. And ultimately, the lesson is right there in your face to build courage within you. Through the lens of your fear, it's hard to maybe accept that as a potential way to learn courage. Yet, it's important for you to then remember, as the Aquarius sign that leads you to listen to these messages or some sort of connection to this energy, that Aquarius is an element of magic of air quality. So in the niche of tarot, it's to bring acknowledgement towards the headspace and how this is connected to the anatomy of the body. Now, if you do some subtle research of Aquarius, they're the water barrier. So they conjure some sort of water and they bring it to something or someone or somewhere. And that is a very important act of Aquarius, because the air element, the wind magic, is carrying water. And it's like two elements in a face at all times. And that is a strength that you don't realize you possess. It's more so a talent that other people reap the rewards from, because in your presence you naturally give this, but in your own solitude you are lost, not sure who you are. That's it for the opening messages. I'm being told to go to the cards, so here come the cards. So I have Seven of Cups, fantasy. And then I have the King of Cups. So remember when I said that you have two elements working for and against you at all times. This is part of the magic of not knowing who you are with the Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups sometimes is a very difficult energy to read. It's like right there, but not really right there. It's an illusion, but it's reality, for it is an illusion. So the fantasy is a real tangible thing because you're fantasizing it. You're using variables of your imagination to come up with it. Is it real in the FaceTime of reality? That's part of the mysticism of this fantasy. And your responsibility with that King of Cups is something that you naturally exude. You can see the crab. So this King of Cups says immediately, and also in just a symbolism, that it houses water element. So it's Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Yet the scorpionic energy is coming through more so in your reading here, because it's a transformative mystic approach to self-identity. But you're doing it strong-willed, you're doing it with purpose, and you're doing it majestically. You're doing it with a good head on your shoulders. When it comes to crystal therapy, I never thought I was going to get into the position of being like controversial about it. Like, not that I believe in it or not, that's not it, because I do. I don't even think it could be a belief set on it from the functionality of what it can provide. So if it works, it works. It works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And there are things that don't need to be proven as to how it doesn't work, and as much as it doesn't need to be proven that it does work. Okay? Some things are just meant to live in that bubble. And right now this bubble is called fantasy. All right, we have the Ace of Coins, birth, and we have Five of Cups, disappointment. So going back to okay, one thing at a time here. Going back to the crystal here, or the crystal therapy, crystal magic, however you define it, if you even believe in it. Frequency is frequency, and you really don't have to study belief to understand frequency is very much a real thing, whether you're titling into the radio at one point, or you're trying to get better satellite connection, or you're trying to get just a simple technology of a good cellular reception, a good Wi-Fi speed, all of that is energy of some sort of frequency. Okay? So whether or not you are going to also believe that since every variable outside of you can have a plus or minus of a frequency, and then you're the only thing that is going to question whether or not you have that too, that's up to your own existence. Okay? No one's here to prick at what you ought to believe. We're more so now worried about, do you have a belief that you want to bring forth to the table? Because that is so fucking loud with all these third eyes, whether it's the peacock third eye or the third eye of the Five of Cups energy, that's saying you're surrounded by not seeing the true value of who you are with the Ace of coins, with the birth. You don't know the reason why you feel that your spirit is in one universe and your presence is here, and they don't really add up. It doesn't really make you feel like you're part of something, because fantasy is taking the lead here. You are knowing of something, you're a present for something, because that is stronghold with the King of Cups energy, that you are taking affirmative action, affirmative steps to be part of a movement, part of a community, part of something, whether it's a belief that you were growing up with, or just goods versus bads and kind of swinging the pendulum in life that way. You've accrued a lot of interesting people along the way here. Not that these are people, but these are things, experiences, all that have points of views and perspectives, all that matter. And no matter what they are identifiably, we're living in a time of space on a global perspective that turning back the wheels of time so much so is now having an individual question whether or not what kind of identity they are, you know. And that's a very disappointing act, because where are you supposed to feed your sensory with everything that you are and take in your environment and still feel lost in the environment of that you're existing in? And it could be a very disappointing feeling. And now that we are aware of this and we might resonate with that, where is that taking us? So let's see where that's taking us. What's birthing from that? Because what is already occurring is that in the back end of things, you are a light being, you know. Some of you could benefit from a past life regression, you know. Lean towards the affirmative side of things to figure out who that individual can be. I also am someone who can administer it. It is not something that you go you don't, it's not you're conscious, okay, you're awake, is the goal of things, and which is very important, because she's awake too. She doesn't have her eyes closed. She's disappointed at the world that she sees. So we want to look at the world that we see with knowing stance, with a groundedness, so that we can unsee the things that we don't want to see, and then become more adequate to accept the things that we are actually affirming for ourselves, that we want to approach and learn and be a part of and be also of service to. So again, let's see what's birthing, what's coming, what is to be. And we have Seven of Wands, courage. Did I mention that before? I think I did, right? We have Nine of Swords, cruelty. And I have 21, universe. It's very star-like quality for me here. Very healing. Very having to deep dive into the oceans of emotions and listens to the signals of how divine is going to get you there. And the symbolism is orcas and dolphins. And if you understand light terminology and light language, those are all from and coming from ninth dimensional sort of vibration, and it can provide you a recognition of some kind. She's then in the hypnosis of things while she's conscious and awake and surrendering into this, rebirthing herself, right? this triggered the Ace of Coins triggered the birth. Here is the birthing. The birthing of everything is within you and not externally of you. Everything that can be answered to what needs to be understood. How this thing, the planet here, this material, the third rock from the sun, is important, is to understand the very thing that's part of it. And once you understand your frequency, the frequency that's part of everything can rummage through you too, and you can pick up that dial tone, that signal, and it can relay messages. It can communicate. You can communicate with it. It can communicate with you. You can exist while it's existing, for it's existential with or without you, because you're coming from it, and back to it you returning. It's the universe. So all that is a daunting knowledge to understand the yin yang of the emotionalities of life that is very difficult to make amends to here with the Seven of Cups and a Seven of Wands, and then the Seven of Cups and the King of Cups taking the lead in the beginning, and the Seven of Wands being that fire, that permission of acknowledgement that not only are you air, but you're also in many ways water. And for that, your spirit gets connected, and then you have the courage to walk amongst not only the sea of emotion, but the land, with the land animals here, and bringing fire to the unknown, bringing light to the unknown, bringing courage to yourself, being able to ignite the tunnel that leads you to the light at the end of the tunnel by understanding you are the light within the tunnel that can illuminate the path. Right now, animals can speak a lot to you, a lot of animal relationships you have. Some of you have forgone relationships with people and have a relationship with animals. Some of you do work for animals. Some of you then are completely that's one. And then for those of you who work with people, you're more in the back end of things working for people. You want to be in the back end of things, and you want your legacy to kind of go through the hearts of mattering for people. And that's how the universe has seen how you've actually reaped those rewards. It's you finally making it through this energy, this last little bits of cycle here with your personal self, the 7 and the 9, to bring it all together. 7 and 9 is 16, and then 1 plus 6 is back again 7. It's a universal prime adventure, and you're seeing it through the eyes of many, because you've impacted many, many people. I'm hearing for someone to stay away from asparagus. It's very specific, so I don't know, for 6 months. I'm hearing cucumber water to consume it, cucumber water, but don't let the cucumber sit in the water for more than 6 hours. Or anything drenched in water shouldn't drench in the water, sit in the water for more than 6 hours, I'm hearing. If you're going to fact check that with science, I really don't care. It's the message. I'm hearing also to avoid cauliflower for a while. Someone had gastric bypass surgery and regrets it. It's about what you're eating and not what you're physically doing with your body. And some of you are convinced that you're eating well, and the ether is telling you to be mindful of the consciousness that you consume here. Ether is saying be conscientious to consciousness, consumed consciousness, the cruelty that goes into the things that you consume. You can still be a meat eater and be as divine as they come. The world is mystifying in how it can bring itself to checks and balances. But if there are too many imbalances that have gone unchecked, well, that's when cruelty comes upon us and everyone. where the universe teaches us that she is in ultimate control. Lots of prime energy here. Seven of coins, despair. So look how beautiful the despair, though, is being uprooted. You're taking acknowledgement to possibly some of the new things that you're hearing within this message and seeing if it fits you in your personal life and the way that you want to tell your story, live your story, be your story, become that of which it is that you haven't given yourself permission to be. A lot of you were told to be somebody that you're not, and that it has given you the exact potion you need to grow in the darkest corners of despair, and then to watch you grow is bringing illumination to what a once upon a dark world was. You're illuminating darkness. Let's see. We have the Queen of Cups. So where the King came up before, the Queen comes up as well. So look how well you're living in the world of fantasy, but actually very well balanced energetically. Bringing that to a tangible ground is where you need more earth energy to see how not only lasting relationships can be built, how people can bestow loyalty and love in return without you having to give them anything. It is something that's very much up for yours to experience, should you accept that in part you've kind of lived up to this moment in a bit of a fantasy that hasn't had a chance to birth out into reality. And the only way that it can birth out into the reality is if you become your own magician and bring it out into reality. Because in fantasy, you've already built it and created it. And you're saying intangibly you'd like it. And in despair, the universe has watched you grow and watched you suffer in the way that other people have been neglecting the things that you're capable of, the things that you provide, the things, even if it's considered bad. You've took the bad and made it good. For that, the people that consider you bad are still around reaping your rewards because they just can't admit that foregoing life without you would be actually causing them despair. So it's easier to be around you and not have to give you acknowledgement that you're in despair because they reap too many benefits from that. So it's very sad because it's more sad for them and than it is for you. You feel the sadness, but the moment the universe makes eye contact with you, that you are not to be sad, you're going to open up and reap so many rewards that all the euphoria, all the things that are returning back to you because it's yours to have put it out there in fantasy is such a nice hug from the universe to you that the people that have thought they could keep you cooped up in the world of desperation and despair, they feel deeply how much they've lost out on you, even if you still share a dinner table, even if you have to be forced to have a meal and visit them. There's a complete dissection of from you and them, and you feel that and you see it because you're in that element air magic to be able to see it. But what keeps you there in this ironic loophole is the water energy being the water bearer, because that keeps you in a weird element of this facade of a control that the things that you're on is actually function, because there is function that can always come even in dysfunction, there's a function, because dysfunction is a function. So in that contradiction, it's hard to understand, well, what is that goodness compared to that badness, and how can it rise? How can it learn its lesson? How can it mature? How could it grow? How could it profit? How could it benefit? How could it become something bigger? And it only knows how to suck in rather than give out. And that's what you're learning you don't want to do. You don't want to just suck in and not know how to give back or give out the true version of who you are. This isn't about other people's gratifications or other responsibilities for other people and showing up to work on time. It's not about that. It's about the inner conversation, because the feet here are on top of the pentacles. He is not grounded in everything that he has built upon to this point. He is there having controlled a narrative, and that narrative brought him up to this point. But that's not the castle in the sky. Yeah. There's still a wish upon the stars with the Nine of Cups energy. There's still wishful hope to be reunited with something of the past and have it come up. The Knight of Pentacles, and then we have the Five of Cups that addresses that there's bad and I want to get away to the good. And then that moment I see a bug, and I haven't seen a bug in a very long time, so I'm going to go take care of that. Look at that. Creeper crawlers are coming out of the corners. Honestly, I haven't seen that in weeks. The creeper crawlers are going to come waltzing through. I'm going to feed that solar plexus with some juice. That was fascinating to witness. And even better to get rid of. All right. It's a problem, y'all. Because that means there is someone very deeply intimate with you, whether you sleep with this person, whether you have a child-parent relationship with this person, but you are deeply, deeply connected with one individual. And this individual is not looking or reflecting back onto or about your energy with purity. There are intentions that are intended to be well, but they're coming from a standpoint of selfishness. And this is then where it reminds me of, well, man, we've been here before, Aquarius. So we're not entertaining that because we've gone so far. We're not entertaining it more than we have to, for those that are politically correct here. We have come too far. And if you look at what time it is, it's not that time clock. All right, so let's keep pushing. Three of Pentacles. Longing to be seen. What's catching my eye more is that he's on a bench, wanting to speak, wanting to say, hey, this is what I've got. This is the idea. Like, kind of like the I'm getting a little bit of a trickster energy. Is not something that I really get at all ever from a Three of Pentacles energy, but that's what I'm getting, a trickster energy. You've been kind of tricked to appreciate who you are because someone benefited from, again, seeing what you're capable of and conditioning more of that within you. And if you are the person that can generate more of that, you're going to think that you generating that is your purpose, and because you're good at it, well, then why would you deflect from providing more of that? Yet there are bouts of personalities within you, whether it's your past childhood outbursts, your current arguments now, that put you at such a different world from this individual, that it's the universe trying to convince you. Do you understand a little tricky of a situation that is being manipulated as it being a mock of teamwork? Constantly having it to kind of like teach you that it requires other people's things, whether it's money, time, attention, to make a person happy. Because what it actually is, it's a long running game of a formula that this person has planted a long time ago, and it has manifested for however old you are now today, Aquarius. That's how long that seed of the formula has had a chance to mature and become wise on its own, and just running in the background, and you're in the foreground just feeding it a lot more information. And then all of a sudden you have this moment where you're like, I can't produce more. I'm physically not capable to do more. Whether it's stress, whether it's like I have to start like saying no to events because I just don't have the time to. Like there's a wall that you're hitting. Okay, construction now. Weird. Like 9 o'clock. Weird. Anyway, there's a lot of fucking energy trying to come in, Aquarius. Are you feeling this shit? Like, yeah, I'm not used to this shit. I don't know if this is gonna show up in the fucking reading or not, but fireworks going up. What is it? I have some setting on here that I apparently don't know I have on, because so weird shit happens from one time to time. This is the first time this happened. I got some fucking fireworks in the background. I'm feeling way too much right now. Wow. Right. I'm being told to fish for a deck, so give me 1 second. Alright. Whoa. Just whoa. Some messages real quick. Abundance. I'm a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we need, right? We need to bring things out into the tangible world. And I love right now that this is the color red, because it speaks of the energy in the room that was just like, what the fuck? Because we have to go rummage deep into this energy, the despair, which is all about the root chakra. It's all about the root chakra, and to then understand what the fuck it's feeling is to understand how the sacral chakra starts speaking. Oof, the headache. Ooh. Did y'all get your shit together? All right, loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Earlier I got like an image of like a button, so someone should think about that, what that could mean to you, whether it's sewing, getting more handsy, crafty, I think I'm hearing, like sewing, like someone has good sewing skills, to dabble in that for a little bit. It doesn't mean you have to like make a business out of it, just dabble in it, like you were a child needing to pass time. instead of watching Netflix and chilling. Netflix and sewing. You know? Maybe some of y'all do that already. Hold off the need, I'm hearing, to make sure that you prioritize like workshops and like meetings of the minds. Like, it's nice that you're doing it and that it's on its way and that it's in line and in queue and all that stuff. But there is a loneliness that you keep approaching to those situations. And that needs to be addressed first. And once you have a better clarity, then you'll start attending these events without stress. Relationships. I'm attracted to those people who serve my higher good. We have King of Quills. This is like Edgar Allan Poe quotes, okay? So the King of Quills is King of Swords energy. More of your like energy. Finally, the air element of your star sign is showing up. Taking the lead, if I would say. And think that these weak lines are written by him who, as he pens them, thrills to think his spirit is communing with an angel's. That again. I think that these weak lines are written by him who, as he pens them, thrills to think his spirit is communing with an angel's. So to me, it reads, you do something and then you second guess what it is that you're doing, as if it's coming from you. Yet then, while it came from you, you wonder if it's from somewhere else beyond your doing. And to come into a lovable relationship that has its highs and lows, it has its good times, it has its bads, is the type of relationship that one has with the universe. It's inevitable. I'm seeing a lot of like flashes of childhood memories, just like as if there were a kaleidoscope of like hundreds of people's different types of childhood expressions and experiences. The wheel, never to suffer, would never to have been blessed. That's a strong message. Doesn't need more clarity than it pretty much clarifies everything that's been set up to this point. And we have the Three of Candles. I conceive nothing more sublimating. Sorry, I see like flashes. I can conceive nothing more sublimating than the strange peril and novelty of an adventure such as this. May God grant that we succeed. So I always have to like get into like the memory of like reading something out loud in class. So let's try it again. I can conceive nothing more sublimating than the strange peril and novelty of an adventure such as this. May God grant that we succeed. Three of Candles is a Three of Pentacles. So where I saw that trickster energy here, it's more so kind of like a Three of Wands energy. Wait. I think it's bottom of the deck is the Sun. They who dream by day are cognizant of many things which escape those who dream only by night. What reading did I do before this? You may benefit from the Leo reading. Yeah. Or you might benefit from the Leo reading. I said Three of Pentacles, right? Three of Pentacles for this. Yeah, no, that's Three of Wands. I'm like, that looks like a Three of Wands. It's Three of Wands. Pardon that. But yeah, it's still a message, still true. Like for the trickster energy, it's unfortunate it comes in the earth element, but it reminds me, it not reminds me, but it's pulling me towards saying that the trickster energy was a person, and the person is more so an earth element, Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. The Three of Candles being here with, I can conceive nothing more sublimating, which I have no idea if I'm saying it right or not, so let's try it again. I can conceive nothing more sublimating than the strange peril and novelty of an adventure such as this. May God grant that we succeed. So this kind of speaks of the King of Quills message. And think that these weak lines are written by him who, as he pens them, thrills to think his spirit of communing with an angels. Because where the message was to that possibly you're second guessing what comes through you, you realize you're a conduit that can deliver the message that, or the thing that you have shared. And having done so successfully and realizing the world that you have been a part of and a world that you also want to return back to, is to re-enter with it with a new sense of acknowledgement, self-acknowledgement, and spirit. Alright, I'm being told to leave the messages that where they are, Aquarius. Again, should you like any of my materials so far, feel free to see if you can like or subscribe to my channel. Sorry, I'm like bing, 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 bing. Off. So, check out the description box below to see whether or not you're interested in anything, whether it's just to see what's made available there or whatnot, and reach out if anything. And with that being said, I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space, and may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing.